You know, the idea that God, whatever this word is, wherever this word was derived from, arose from, whether it's a language, whether it's Sanskrit, whether it's a sound, whether it's an experience, the idea that this God exists as something of a creator of all of this, including our bodies, our souls, our spirits, and everything that is encased within the creation of this God. This God is determined by each as through their own conditioned way of past information through mind, books, research stuff that is assumed to be from the past and not past being time. No. So God existed a long time ago before you, but is determined upon our idea and concepts and information and conditioned knowledge about what we perceive it to be, or him to be, or her to be. So what is God, you see? Let's take away the word, you see? See, the name itself is a barrier, is a veil. You take on the name human. Therefore, you start at a point where someone made the first creation of the word human. So human, this body could have been here many, many years before we called ourselves human. Yeah, we maybe weren't able to talk or understand language or sounds or put things together. We were maybe very animalistic, primitive, cavemen, or whatever it is you want to believe, you see. So we start from a point that Rumi says it is pointless. Because Rumi says you must go to the beginning. So when you're traveling, or when you're a runner running around a circuit in an athletic field, and they start at the beginning, it's a circle. So where is the beginning? So we have to define the beginning. Now the mind makes definitions, the mind makes assumptions, the mind makes ideas and concepts appear to be real. So the mind defines where the beginning will be. So in the running track, mind says, let's start here. Now, if life is circular, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we start, whether we start as a human or you go through life, and when you reach the age of 40, you imagine yourself as a tiger. The tiger started at that time, at the age of 40. People are wanting to lock you up because you're growling around the streets, but that's within the circle of all aspects of living beings, living creatures, livingness. So, but Rumi says there is a particular beginning, and it's before human. But that what we are, bound by this human body, are appearing as if we are bound by this human body. We see that we have no boundaries in reality. We are boundless in reality. But the mind says, no, you're bound. You're bound because you cannot get out of this body. And then you have a near-death experience and you transcend and you look down and you see your body and you come back and say, mind, you're lying. And mind says, no, that's just It's an illusion, you see. It's a chemical in the brain. It was something that was not actually experienced. It's not real, you see. Okay, so yeah, right. So I'm still bound in the body. The reason mind wants to keep you bound in the body is if you start believing, if we start all becoming awakened and enlightened and returning to our original, not returning, acting out as what we are originally are, a powerful, energetic field of transcending love, all of this will become irrelevant, you see. So the mind wants to make relevance to this place that we are here. So we can accept mind. We can accept that this is a beautiful planet, or whatever you want to call it, and it's nice to be alive, it's great to breathe, it's extremely liberating to swing your arms around and run and smile and have sex and swim. Wow. So the mind has done its job. But another version of mind has come in to say, look, what about God? What? Just when I was having fun, I have to look for something that makes me feel ungrateful for what I am. So I have to worship someone or something. And mind says, yes. So if you don't worship, I can tell you there's a place called hell, No, this mind is just a gimmick. You see, religion, science, and the stuff that we do when we don't give it names is relevant. But when we start giving it names and making stories up about it and giving it identities and positions and status in life, that this theorist is better than that theorist, and this scientist is much more advanced than this scientist, that this scientific, the hologram is much more advanced than quantum, you see. We simply go round in circles. And we spend all of our life forgetting about walking, smiling, swimming, having sex, giving birth, loving life, looking, observing, in awe of what we have discovered something as ourselves as consciousness. You see, they say consciousness, consciousness, when you're born, the consciousness that you adopt starts at a point. No. They say, well, in the womb, you're already conscious of life. Some say you have to wait a year of being born before consciousness comes into you. You are consciousness. There is only consciousness. So whatever God is consciousness. Whatever spirit and soul is consciousness. There only is consciousness. Everything, this table, this laptop, is a version of consciousness. Whether the mind is aware of it in the womb, or after a year, or in 5 years when the mind start thinking, look at me, I'm a person, that's conditioned learning, you see. Without the ego mind, we are pure consciousness every moment of every day in our time world. But the ego mind wants to stifle us to say, no, look at what you have. So the simple being that identifies with names and ego, that realizes that life is great just as I am, without big houses, big airplanes, big holiday vacations, big, beautiful clothes, beautiful this, beautiful that, money in the bank, is living pure consciousness. The one that wants more than what we have been given is an ego mind that's stifling the idea that it cannot discover the truth. And it won't discover the truth because it's looking for God, a direction. It's looking for something out with. It's looking for materialistic objects. It's looking for words, identities. It's looking for, meaning and purpose. It's looking for everything outside of itself. And all of this is inside you now. So if you want to look out in a vast universe of stuff, it's going to take you multiple lives. But if you want to look in at the point where this stuff is projected from, you'll see it in a moment. One point, go into the light, there, gone. And then you say, wow. And someone says, did you see God? And you can't answer because you don't have a mind that is able and strong enough to understand what God is. It's not a word. It's not the creator of life. It's infinite, 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 infinite. It has no name. Whatever it is that what it is? This is the liberation of mind. This is what they say is awakening. When your information and all the stuff that you've collated over lifetimes, you give up and surrender for this one moment. And there it is. And it's unshareable. You can try, like this speaker, to come on and explain that it's unshareable, it's unknowable. Simplicity is the only way to be, to try and actually work out what you are is wasting your whole precious life and time. In every life, you see, every life is just a moment. If we say 80 years, this body is 65 now. I was at the Boys Brigade. I was delivering newspapers when I was 10 yesterday. That's how quick it goes. That's how quick life is. And if I survive to, say, 75, the papers will be even closer. You'll get up and you're lying in your deathbed and your partner will say, what did you do this morning? I was delivering newspapers. And they say you've got dementia. They say you've got some sort of aging brain disease that's dysfunctional. The fact is, there's no time. One moment means one moment. You can't measure one moment. It's shorter than a nanosecond. We can use words to measure anything that we like, but words are weak, feeble. And the people that use words, or the mind that uses words to educate itself and its children, they're just, in the quicksand of life. They're trying to get out of the quicksand, you see. They're not being sucked under yet. But the more they try, the more they learn, the more they want, every life becomes deeper quicksand. And when you keep trying, you get deeper into the quicksand. When you surrender and give up and say, I don't know, suddenly something lifts you into the air and you're free, liberated. The sage. God, the word, 3 syllables. Yeah, a vowel and 2 consonants. How cheap we make this that is pure infinite into 3 syllables. Once you know it, once you understand that you will never understand the full capacity of this wisdom, this love, this incredible opportunity to be alive, the word God will not even touch you. It'll be like every other word, it just bounces off of you, deflects. Someone will say you're a man, and you say, what the hell is that? Is that your best? That's what we've done, that's what we've went through this life to discover. The same as my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, to the first one who made up the word man. You want to take that one and shake them and say, why do you divide things? Why is things made up into small components? Why do we, segment our lives and make them minuscule and insignificant? Why can I not be whole? And then God says, look, everything's taken away. To leave the meager, simple, smiling, swimming, walking, running, sleeping, laughing, contented, whatever I am is consciousness.